So Jenna, why don't you explain a little bit to us about Indiana National Guard, the size and scope and the mission of what our men and women are doing here in Indiana?
Well, I'm very proud of the Indiana National Guard. You know, the state of Indiana is the 15th largest in population of our nation, but the Indiana National Guard, Army Guard, is the 4th largest Army Guard in our nation. And you know, I get asked often, how can that be? Well, how is it that way? Well, we're from the Midwest. We have very patriotic citizens of this state, and in each and every conflict of our nation, there's been a lot of volunteers go and serve, and with that has made us the Pentagon and the Washington can depend on Indiana to always, when they ask us to send units anywhere in the world, then we usually can fill a foxhole and send them there, and they're ready and they're prepared to go, and they do a great job.
That's great. And with the scope of the work and that size of a footprint in the National Guard, what are some of the jobs, if they're not serving, if they're not being deployed, what are some of the things that our men and women in the Guard are doing when they're not drilling and they're not deployed? What types of jobs and careers do they have?
Well, they have every facet. You know, we have principals, we have steel workers, we have farmers, you know, just all gamut. You know, we represent society, and there probably isn't a vocation or a job in this state that probably a guardsman doesn't have.
So to that point, what role then does education play? When you look at the landscape of our Guard, how is education important to the men and women who wear the uniform?
Well, to the military, education has always been important, and we have two facets of education in the military. We have what we have to do on our uniform side. As you go up in rank, you have to have different military education you have to go to and graduate from, but also you have to have a certain level of civilian education. So whether you're an enlisted soldier, an officer, it really makes no difference. We would like and always support our young men and women to get a college degree if they haven't got one, or associate's degree, and in many cases go on for a master's.
As you know, Governor Daniels created WGU Indiana as the 8th state university, a nonprofit online university. And so now with the new GI Bill allowing guardsmen to take advantage of the housing allowance if they go to an online university, I'd like to hear your thoughts about how an online nonprofit university can help the Guard in their pursuit of those college degrees, bachelor's or master's, and how does that change?
Well, I think it's going to be a great opportunity. It really is, because if you think about a National Guardsman, he isn't an active duty. He's a citizen soldier, so he has a family. He has to wear the uniform and serve, but he also has a job. So, you know, the day gets pretty filled, and it's very difficult sometimes to go. You have to go at night. You have to go to set in many hours to go to help get a degree. But this will give a soldier an opportunity, or an airman, to, in their own home in the right hour, to be able to get online, and the fact they can use the benefits that you just talked about is just a great opportunity. So I think WGU fits really great for a military person.
Right. And you know, we're both passionate about military spouses. WGU Indiana also provides opportunities for the spouse, but I'm curious what you see in the work that you do with all of the population in the military. How could an online education at $6,000 a year, how can that be make an impact in the role of the military spouse?
Well, with the new GI Bill, it gives a soldier an opportunity to transfer X number of dollars for the number of deployments that he or she has been on. So really, quite frankly, it makes it cover a longer period of time, and for many more of his family. So the less amount of dollars that he or she has to spend for their education, they can transfer that to their spouse, to their dependents. So again, it's just a great thing.
And the cost of $6,000 a year, how does that make an impact in the military space? It's the cost of WGU Indiana tuition, is that?
Well, I don't know exactly the figures of the others, but I know I've been informed by my staff that it's the most least expensive of all the programs. And then the other thing that we've been made aware of is the mentorship program that WGU has, where you can actually talk to the soldier, the airman, and walk he or she through how the system works. Maybe they can test out of of a lot of education that they can get, or credits because of their experience in the military, that the mentor understands that and walks them through all the gamuts. And sometimes, you know, soldiers have so many things going on. If it's very difficult to navigate that system, they just drop out. So I think what WGU has set up is going to make it much more easy for a soldier or an airman to get their education.
From your heart, what's your expectation as it comes to our guardsmen being educated and pursuing education? Like, what do you want to see for the Guard?
Well, I'd love to see every soldier, again, it makes no difference whether you're a private or you're an officer, to get an education. We all know that gets you in the door. All these great men and women have served their country. They've gone over and they've matured very much, and they found out that they're capable of doing many more things than they probably thought they could. So they come home now, like it was in World War II. Our great generation came home. The GI Bill was established. Many of them got their education and led this nation to be the greatest nation in the world. I think this younger generation has the same opportunity, and I wish every one of them, and hope, and will do everything I can to help them pursue their education. I think WGU offers the greatest flexibility and opportunity for our soldiers and airmen more than any other educational program that I've seen.